Hey all, No here. I can't believe it, but we're actually, at this moment, the final SMG4 theory video I'll ever make. I've been making these stupid theory videos for almost 4 years now, starting with a bunch of Revelations arc theories back in 2022. From there, I even went on to get into Gmod animation and made my own original SMG4 fan animations. And I must say that I think I got pretty decent at the whole Gmod animation thing eventually, though I had a very bad habit of never finishing any of the fan series I'd start working on. After 4 years of doing this crap, I somehow reached 20,000 subscribers, over 5 million total views, and I even made quite a bit of money from talking about SMG4 of all things on YouTube. I've had a lot of fun working on videos for this channel for the past 4 years. But with SMG4 coming to its end, this brief chapter of my life and for my YouTube channel is about to come to a close. I could spend the whole video reminiscing, but I know what you guys are actually here for, so let's get on with it. The subject of this final theory video should have been fairly predictable. I'll be theorising about what may happen in the final SMG4 episode that is releasing on December 27th. The only detail we know for certain about the final episode, right now at least, is that it will be a movie, meaning the episode will be at least 40 minutes in length like the other movies released this year, and it will also have higher production quality than most regular episodes. In the lead up to the final movie, we have gotten episodes focused on each of the current main characters in the series, which serve as nice little send-offs for all of these characters. But there is one major character who has not received a send-off episode, and that character is none other than SMG4 himself. Even though SMG4 has appeared in every one of these send-off episodes, it'd be strange if this central character didn't get some sort of send-off for himself as well, and so it is highly likely that the movie will be focused around SMG4 as a character and will functionally serve as his own send-off episode. Considering he is arguably the main character as his whole identity is interconnected with the identity of the YouTube channel itself, it makes sense to have the last video be focused around SMG4, as this way it could double as a send-off to the character as well as for the channel itself. It just makes too much sense. Also, although Mario featured heavily in Meggy's recent send-off episode, I'd argue that One Last Splatfest was not really a send-off for Mario's character. X and FM had much more of a send-off than Mario did, and I think that's because Mario's presence in the episode was more so there to reflect on his deep connection and relationship to Meggy's character, more so than being a send-off for Mario's character. Therefore, I think it's highly likely Mario will share a leading role with SMG4 in the movie, with it also acting as his last adventure. After all, Mario is also a main character and is the face of the whole channel alongside SMG4, so having Mario and SMG4 both have their last adventure in the last episode of the show makes a lot of sense. Although this movie will serve as a send-off for the SMG4 channel, I'm pretty sure the story will not be heavily focused on looking back on the channel's history, as this would be a very lame direction to take with the story. The 10-year anniversary movie and more recently What Future in 25 both had stories that heavily focused on reminiscing about the past, so the story for the upcoming movie will likely go in a different direction, probably being more focused on progressing some stories to conclusions, such as by doing stuff like tying up some loose ends or concluding some characters' stories. However, that's not to say I believe we'll see absolutely no reminiscing about past videos and events, just that it will not be featured heavily, nor will it be the focus of the plot like in the previous examples I mentioned. What do I think might specifically happen in the plot of the movie, however? I have one very solid idea that I'm 100% sure will happen, and it is the reveal of the room behind the boarded up door in the showgrounds castle. This is the last major mystery and loose plot thread yet to be resolved in the series, and we know that the writers haven't forgotten about this plot point because the door recently got mentioned in the Super Princess SMG3 episode, where SMG4 stopped some toads who tried to pull the door open. I'm also pretty confident that the SMG4 team will release the Showgrounds map after the final episode releases, as the team have always released most of the original models they create for the channel onto the Gmod workshop. The Showgrounds map has been the most major asset created for SMG4 to never have been released to the public, and that is almost certainly because they don't want to spoil the surprise of what's behind the door. With the movie being both the last chance they have to reveal what is behind the door, and the last chance they have to release the Showgrounds map to the public, unless they randomly dropped it long after the series ends, which I highly doubt will happen. Therefore, I am very confident that the boarded up room will be a central plot point in the movie. Perhaps the whole movie will be focused on the characters trying to discover what is behind the door, while SMG4 tries to stop them, seeing as he seems very against opening the door. Or what I think is more likely is that the door will go largely unmentioned until the very end of the movie, when SMG4 will finally open the door. What will be behind the door? To be honest, I don't really have much of a clue, but since its reveal has been saved for the last episode of the series, all I know for sure is that the secret room has something to do with the ending of the show. Perhaps there is something inside the room that ends the channel, or maybe some object that is deeply sentimental to the channel is inside that room. I also think the YouTube remote will be an important plot device in the movie. We don't see what happened to the YouTube remote at the end of What V 2025, but we do last see it in the possession of the SMG4 crew. I don't know if any of you remember, but we do actually then go on to see the YouTube remote again in a later episode, that being the following episode, the one focused on SMG3. We see SMG4 briefly pull it out and use it. Usually the canonicity of the unscripted videos is up for debate, but we can be pretty certain that the SMG3 episode is canon because it was the last adventure that SMG3 chose to have. Therefore, we know that the YouTube remote is now in SMG4's possession, and due to its nature of being directly connected to YouTube itself, the website that the SMG4 channel is hosted on, I think there's a good chance the YouTube remote may be used by SMG4 at the end of the movie to end the SMG4 channel, or something along those lines. Just to be clear though, by end, I don't mean SMG4 will delete the YouTube channel, I just mean he'll use it to turn off the show, or something like that. Guess I also got to mention this next thing. Remember in the Melanie episode how a baseball suddenly came to life and started warning Mario and SMG4 about an imminent invasion from an evil alien species? Will the final movie feature an alien invasion as a major plot point? Joking aside, this was definitely just a bit for the episode and not foreshadowing, especially evident from how no other recent episodes have had instances of foreshadowing for an alien invasion. However, it's not like we know for sure this wasn't foreshadowing, so I might as well mention it here I suppose. I can't really think of any evil alien species in SMG4 besides the door aliens, who worshipped that mysterious ground door or whatever. I doubt they'd be the final antagonists the SMG4 crew would have to go up against though, lol. I genuinely don't know what I'd do if the final boss is literally a door. I'm so sick of talking about doors in these theory videos, I'm so glad I don't have to mention doors anymore. Anyway, more recently, we learnt that Toomp is an alien from a different planet, so his species would be the most likely candidate if there really will be an alien invasion plotline. Maybe upon returning from Earth and having learnt about friendship, Toomp's species decides to invade Earth to get this thing called friendship for themselves, much to Toomp's protest, who realises that invading Earth would make friendship impossible for Toomp's species to achieve. Why did I come up with all this, man? Lastly, in Dragon Chris's last adventure, Peach was saved from her demonic corruption and her castle resurfaced just in time for the ending of the show. Ignoring some of the story problems I have with the decision of bringing back Peach's castle so easily, despite its destruction supposedly being permanent and being why a new castle and setting for the show was established and everything, ignoring all of that, it's clear that the decision to bring back Peach's castle alongside saving Peach was partly in order for both her and the castle to appear in the final SMG4 episode, as both are very iconic to the channel, and so bringing them back for the final episode makes sense. So we can expect to see Peach appear in the final movie, and for her castle to be a prominent location in the movie, likely to be used for reminiscing about the history of the channel. Maybe the movie won't end in the boarded up room, But after the reveal of what is behind the door, the characters will head to Peach's castle, where the show will end in the same location where it started. And yeah, that's it. That was my final ever SMG4 theory. Kind of wild. The fact hasn't completely dawned on me yet. What will the future of my channel be? I don't know. I'll figure that out at some point next year, I hope. At the very least, I don't just want to abandon this channel, I know that much for certain. But it is now time. Goodbye all.
Because it is very likely that we are currently in a New York called the College Arc, or Omni Academy Arc. It currently consists of 6 episodes. To become a god, studying for exams, but your friends with Mario. Mario goes to college. Mario suffers infinite detention. All Mario wants is absolute power. Mario's bus trip.